Okay, so something I thought I'd share with you guys, anyone that's watching this video, is I'm currently doing a holocron grind in NGE, which is the new game. Latest game that when it closed, it was running, which you can play on Legends. And what I'm finding is that, I mean, there's a perfect balance, just like any other MMO, for you know, what you can kill and freaking what's going to be able to damage you, what's not going to be able to damage you based upon your skills. So one of the things I want to do today is talk to the profession counselor and change up my stuff so that maybe I get an edge, because the stuff that I'm attacking is higher level, or at least it was. A lot of it was higher level than what I am, by 10 to 15 levels higher. So depending on, you know, how much I can heal, how much damage I can do in as little time as possible is going to have a great effect and outcome as to whether, you know, I'm successful. Because you're doing these grinds, you're in these grinds for these holocrons. They're drops that probably about 10% of the time you get something. I've gotten one for the belt. I'll show you my collections here. One. I can remember where the hell they are. I did this in the original game, which was when it was live, and so you're talking 10 years is the last time that I've, you know, fucked with this. Yeah, excuse me here for a second. Okay, so there we get the two holocrons, and this is all the prelude to getting to the Jedi robes, Master Jedi robes, prerequisites that you got to do in game in order to get those. Think of it as like armor for Jedi. That's going to help you greatly in PvP and you know, environment theory. So you got the waist pack and meditative discipline. These holocrons I picked up over the last couple of days. Actually, you know, the other day there. I'd say within like a 10-hour period. So, like I said, maybe it's even less than 10%. I'm not sure what the drops on Legend are for these, but you got to fill all of these out in order to get the waist pack, and then also the meditative discipline. And currently, if I can bring up my right damn menu. Currently, I've got them pretty much all in my path. This is definitely something that you want. You want your max healing at this level. I started the grind at about level 62. I'm up to 70 right now. And so I'm getting experience still. It's not like I'm level 90 trying to do this, where it's just, you know, just a pain in the ass. I'm actually getting something even if I don't get the holocron. But, you know, my max path and what I did this time around is going to the path instead of the general. And what I'm finding is that there's a lot of advantages to maxing out your stuff in general. Select stuff, like I never really mess with the force run and stuff like that. That would be more PvE, or excuse me, PvP. Force cloak is something that I want to invest in also. you've got a limited number of train points that you can have. I believe the max for level 90, I think it was 45 points. So I'm 10 away. Each one of these slots costs you a point. So, you know, to do all these trees, to fill them out, I'm gonna need way more than what I've got available. So the path, you gotta kind of pick and choose between, you know, whether you want all these blocks, and some of these blocks are also in the general path. You know, your duration. You also get, you know, Force Shockwave, which is a good AOE. So what I'm going to do today for this video is talk to the Re-spec guy. And probably the only thing that I'm going to fill out is going to be the healing is going to be maxed. Now, I'll probably leave these dead in the water, invest all these points, you know, that I've used here over in the general tree, and we'll get to that right now. So I'm in Mos Eisley in the starport. You know, which is the most frequent and most popular. It's where you spawn after you come into the game, after you do the pre-quest, if you want the trainer quest. But just right out the arches, and you go to your right. And the profession counselor that you want to talk to, the Re-spec counselor, is right. Okay, two things you can do. One that I'm not going to be doing, especially with this character, is changing the profession. If you don't like the current profession that you're doing, you can go ahead and change it at this tune also. But what I am going to do is go ahead and respec, and I'm going to get four free respecs. After that, they're going to cost me credit. Which, if I really don't feel that I've gotten over 4 times, it's really not going to be a problem here. Ship combat is a credit mine. You know, you go up into space, and all the components that you can loot off the ships are going to get you the bank account. So there's another tip. You don't have to do ground missions or anything like that. In fact, it's a lot faster to go up into space, do a couple missions in space, so just fly around and kill shit, and then sell it to the vendor inside the starport that you know, the master shipwright that can both assemble your schematics. But you know, I digress. Back to what we were talking about. We got you know, 4 free, so I'm gonna mess around with a bit. I'm gonna go to Dantooine, which is where I'm conducting my grind, which is where they have the force sensitive users. You also have Sith and the masters, which are level 90, which I don't mess with. So I kind of kite. So I'll just target one individual and try and pull one at a time. A lot of times I'll get 2, and when I'm getting 2 Sith on me at the same time is where I'm running into a little bit of difficulty, where my health is getting pretty close to borderline. Died a couple times doing it. So one of the things I wanted to mess with is come over here and do a respec. So as you can see, I did the respec, and my expertise is all set to 0. So it takes them out of the train points, put them all back into available. And so one of the things I wanted to do also is to fill these out. They have prerequisites where you got 16, you know, in the path to get, you know, what I want. This one takes 4 points in path, which this one's going to fill out automatically if I trained in that, which gives me the modifier of as you can see right here, you know, 10 points spent. parry vision increase 1%, you know, during Jedi stance. Jedi stance is this right here. For your pro force user, dark side, it's going to be this one over here. They have a different deal, which is a force drain. But this, just putting 4 into this is going to open this up, you know, max this out. And you can do this all at the same time, you know, as long as you put the points in. I'm just showing you step by step. Okay, now right here to get the hermetic touch is going to require 12 points in my path. Currently I've got 8 trained points, so I need another 4 points. So I'm either going to have to do, you know, add damage to action, or I'm going to have to do, you know, snare chance. Now, both of these snare chants, I do like. It does work. It is effective in delaying if you're accidentally pulling 2. If you get your snare on one of the Sith that's coming in, you're going to nullify it. They're going to be walking at you while the other one's running, which also gives you a chance to use mind trick on them and avoid combat with that tool and pull the other one further away, so that the one that you mind trick doesn't re-aggro against you. But what I think I'm going to do is put 2 points in here, and I'm going to fill this up, because who doesn't like damage? Okay, and what that's done is open up the hermetic touch, which is also a plus if you're taking AoE damage. You can use that to debuff that. Okay, now it's telling me I need 16 in my path. So we're going to go ahead and, like I said, I got 13, so I'm going to have to train 3 more. So I'm going to fill the that completely out, and I'm also going to go for Saber Reflect. Okay, and that's going to open up my Jedi healing. I want this maxed. Most healing that you can get down to right down here. I mean, almost, like say about 15-20%, you know, will bring you back up quite a bit of points. You know, you got 25% per Jedi healing that you spend in it. Okay, all the rest of them, I've got 15 points that I'm going to throw in general. The general, now these right here, that's 4 points in general, 4 points, 4, and 4. As far as the Jedi, the light side, you know, light side force, they are going to be using your Constitution, I think it was, and the other one was mine. But we're going to go with the strength, so I hit harder. And I'm also going to go with the Constitution, because that will also bring up my hit point. Okay, now all these are paths I get. I'm not going to mess with the movement, the force boost, you know, the speed boost that you get as a default. I think in PvE it's good enough. You're going to be able to outrun whatever the hell's chasing you, and they're going to give up after you get out of their AoE range. The sweep damage, which is, you know, down here, it's one of your attacks that you can do, is good. Glancing blow, this is when the enemy hits you. The force throw damage for this one right here is when you toss your saber. It's going to do extra damage. So those are kind of whatever. But these are the ones that you're looking for down here. Improved crippling. You know, you're going to want to follow the arrows down to the trees that you get the stuff that you need. And this, you need to spend 16 points in general. So I won't be able to pick this up until I get higher level. When I hit 90, I should be able to get, you know, stuff like that. The cloak also is 16. It only costs 1. The precursor to that is also only 1. So there's basically 2 points, and I can get the force cloak, which is going to make you invisible, both PvE and PvP, where the enemy, unless they can detect you, you're going to be unseen. And then without using your burst speed, you can just, duck around the corner, then use your speed. It instantly, PvE will negate whatever's attacking you, unless you just stand there like a dumbass and pop back up, and then they're going to re-engage. But it gives you a break from the point if you don't have the stamina or anything else to use the mind trick. So I'm going to buff both of those out, because I am going heavy on this. Eventually I might even, max the rest of these out, the agility and the stamina. This I had completely filled out when I was playing the normal game, when it was back online, when Sony was still running it, SOE. And I, both PvP and PvE, I was doing, I could hold my own, even against higher level tunes, at 60, before they went to the final PV or NGE patch. Glancing blow, definitely, it's a defense maneuver. Okay, and you also have these other skills. And here's what I was talking about. You got this improved saber block, which is the same crap that's over here. It essentially does the same, even though they call it reflected, block. Some of these are passive. The ones in the path, like this stuff right here, I currently have the icon from when I was currently testing. Now I'm going to lose the ability to do this if I don't put the points into it, but which isn't that big a deal for me right now. Snare duration, how long it's gonna. I've snared enemies where they just stand in place, and they'll stand there for almost a damn minute if I get my max effect on it. Evasion, and like I said, force cloak is something that would be good for right now also. And this is escape combat, which you need the 16 points in. And these would need the 12 points. But let's go ahead and train in that right now. Okay, still need 12 points, got 4 left. And currently, do 4, 6, 10, 11, 1 more point, and I could open this up. Okay, so the snare duration, got evasion chance. Let's go without that. And it's left click, right click on these to change them up. So the evasion, we'll go ahead and bring that up. Okay, which has opened up saber block. And I've got 2 points left. That's going to take 1. And then the cripple, which is 16 points. Not going to have 4. Go ahead with the saber block. And all this stuff right here, I'm basically going to have to get up 80, 90. You got your melee damage increase, which is a plus also. More so for the Sith, the dark side rather than light side. Light side being Jedi, dark side being Sith. Action cost reduction, sweep damage, the same stuff that you go over here. These are more or less, I mean, you could still use them, but it's kind of more geared towards the Sith characters, or at least I feel they are. Snare duration, really no interest in doing something like that. I can do the saber block, which right down here, you know, you got the saber block, but it's the improved superior on attack that you get from it for each one that you put in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw a point into that also. Okay, so that's totally maxed me out. It just changed the way that I can absorb and inflict damage when I'm in combat, when I'm engaging something. And hopefully that'll be good. So this is just one of the builds. One of the things I wanted to do is just take all my stuff from here and the points that I don't think were really doing anything for me, and I wanted to reinvest them in something I know worked in the past, at least when the game was live. And Legends kind of follows suit with the experience that you get. So, you know, returning players and stuff like that are familiar with what it's going to do. They really don't change the combat mechanic to what was actually run by SOE. Okay, and this is where you pull all your stats from, which is your combat and everything like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove all these icons, whether I need it or not. And the mind trick, the run. You've got your heal, which I still have, and your block. You still have all that up. Okay, one of the new items I have is Force Cloak. I'm just thinking, you know, where I want to put them on my toolbar. That's going to be intuitive to my fight style. Force and Rage, that's just a tank. Spark, which is a dark side ability, is a good way to pull enemies also. That I tend to use. And I know I'm going to be changing these. I'm not doing much PvP, so I don't need the sense of danger. You know, that enables you to see cloak force users or anyone else that's using any kind of cloak. So it's just a detection skill that you can apply that I am not going to do anything with. And 2 hotkeys, control arrow up and down. And again, I'm just thinking of how to find these keys, you know, what's going to be intuitive, what's going to be easy, what's going to be reflexive. And so I'm not going to have to think about stuff. So it's, you know, taking a little bit here, and I apologize for that, but this is my game, my video, so no big deal, right? You guys do the same thing. In a PvE environment, I'm just looking to make sure that I've got everything on my hotbar that I want. there's the one that I'm missing that I wanted in here. So we'll go ahead and throw that over there and then pull down. Like I said, the hermetic touch is for AoEs on you, which, you know, so you're talking any kind of the lightning, any kind of the chokehold, for instance, that to get off right away, you take the initial damage without taking the sustained or, you know, AoE damage, you know, basically negated. If you do pull it off, one of the things that I've found that's pretty necessary is shooting that off and then healing yourself helps a lot anyway. Okay, so maxed out right now, so let's go over to Dantooine and start grinding and see if I've done anything with this character build that I got going now. And the reason why a Rebel's going to Imperial help is currently I'm Rebel on leave, so I'm not going to get back my NPC. Now, granted, I can't talk to anyone in there because they all just, you know, tell me to get lost, but whatever. It's closest to where I need to go. And I'm going to take a short pause here because I need to pull up my other tune to buff. That's the other thing that the game allows you to do is have multiple instances of the executable, you know, the game can run. Because in your account, bound to your IP address, and a lot of the EMUs, SWG EMUs do that, is you're only allowed one account. And think of it as, you know, one connection per household. So if you got family members or anything like that that want to play with you and they're basically bound to your IP, they'll be able to run an instance off another computer and log into the same account. Currently, I think Legends has a they got 5 limit of 5 characters. Wish it was 6 or more, which would be helpful, because a lot of times it's hard to find parts when you're crafting. Legends has been picking up, more people are playing it, so the availability is there, but it always costs money. You know, why do something for cash if I can do it myself? And entertainers can give you the buffs. One of the things that you should look at is entertainer buffs to understand, you know, what they can and can't do for you. Go ahead back over to my main game, the one that you guys are watching, and all I did is basically bring my entertainer into this supposedly cantina. Only one here that, you know, officially says cantina, which they get their max buffing going on. I'm just going to start my my macro for buffing and joining. And joining, I mean joining groups. Okay, and then all I need to do is target, bring up the radial, watch. You notice down here in the chat that's telling me, you know, my duration. I want to get that up to 5 hours. Actually, 5 hours 30 minutes, you know, max. The other thing I'm going to want to do is talk, so I get a group invite so she can buff. So all I did there was just send her a hey, and up in the upper left you see I got a group invite. And go ahead and click yes, and this is so that the entertainers can buff. The buff has to be at the keyboard. I haven't found a way to use a macro to do it because it doesn't have anything that you can fire off your hotbar. You can make macros to do all this stuff down here. Later on I'll show you this one where I've got it, basically I run this macro so that auto buffs these two abilities right here that I don't have to mess with. Every once in a while during transport, or if I'm going from one place to another, they'll misfire and I won't get the buff out of them. I'll just reinitiate the macro. And so right now I'm up to 2 hours 34 minutes, and that's how long my buff is going to last. That's why I'm sitting here watching. It definitely gives you a boosted edge. You can also get the officer and the medic buffs, which will do essentially the same thing. I just have this tune though, since we only got 5 characters that you can have. I've got 2 combat characters, and the rest, the 3 others are crafters. But if you go a place like Mos Eisley, where I changed my my expertise, you know, retreat, Re-spec, always in the canteen, they're going to have these entertainers, which are there. You're also going to want to look for the any kind of medic in command. You know, the officers, so you can get their buffs. The officers are generally the ones right outside the starport that are calling ships in, and then the medical, you're going to find them in the usually in the what's the word I'm thinking of right now? Basically in the hospitals, they call it something else, but you generally find them right inside there. And they're in Mos Eisley, it's all convenient. It's all like, you know, within walking distance of coming out of the star. And almost at 5:30. Switch over to my other tune. And when you go into a cantina and you have a, if you don't have an entertainer class as one of your characters to buff you, basically you're going to have to go through and tell them basically what you want. I already know what I want. So they're going to allow you to either buff attributes, combat miscellaneous, buff builder is what you're going to want to look up, Entertainer buff builder or Entertainer buffing. And there's a lot of pages out there that give you guides so that you can go up to an entertainer and not have to ask them, what can you do for me? It's more or less you go up to the entertainer, be polite. If you're an ass, they're just going to kick you. A lot of times the buffers, it's customary to tip. Also, you'll hear that a lot, which, like I said, is no big deal. Even level 1, if I go out into space in an hour, 10 grand or 10,000 credit isn't shit. You're going to be able to make that in an hour, if not more. Okay, so one of the things that they have is a boost for XP. I'm working at getting to level 90, so I may put a couple points in it. I'm not going to max it out because I want some of the other ones. The second chance, which gives you a chance to auto heal without using your heals. I generally max that out. And currently, you're not able to see this on your screen because I'm on my other side of the account. I've got 8 points left. I can go with abilities or combat. You got, your action reduction, so you don't use as much stamina. That bar doesn't go down when you're throwing your hits. If you're going 1v1, not a big issue. If you're doing more than that, a lot of times you're going to run that bar dry as any kind of force user. Unfortunately, any of the combat skills, you can do them, I think it's twice. No, it's actually just once. But they cost 5 at a pop. So it's going to limit you. You only have 20 points to work with a entertainer that's buffing out of a cantina or a camp. That's basically maxed out their skill to max out the percentages and the amounts that they can do. How many points that they get that they can buff you with. And you also have resistances, which kinetic, since you're fighting melee weapon. Sith, I always max that out to 5, so there's boom, there are 5 points gone. Currently with a XP boost, a max kinetic, and then a second chance maxed out, which I may actually lower a little bit. I only have 3 points left to use. Another one that they got under resistance is elemental. So any of their force abilities that they're going to use, it's going to help with that also. So what I'm going to do with is not too worried about the elemental as much as I am the kinetic. So I maxed out my kinetic. Elemental, I went with 2. And second chance, max that one out. So I've got 1 point left that I think I'm going to throw into my XP. And like I said, if you go to any of the pages that describe healer buffing, just take a look at it, rewatch the video, you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, now back over to the other card. Yeah, you notice it pops up with what it's going to do for me. Okay, so under my status, you know, wearing the Jedi robes like I got like that, they're all at the baseline of all the defenses are 4,000. 10,000 is excellent. That's really what you're striving for. As close as you can get to it, you know, is a good thing. Also, you've got all of the buffs that got going on here. Lower this down a little bit, and you'll see them change when I accept this. Okay, so now my kinetic went up to 7, and all my resistances went up to 55. Okay, and the duration shows up under here, which is the entertainer buff. I've got 5 hours and 30 minutes before that runs out. Now, another thing that will, if you die, you're going to lose your buffs. Okay, anything that you got going on is going to be lost if you fight it. Okay, and then 2 other things I'm going to want to do. I'm going to want to stop watching the entertainer, and then I'm going to want to free up a slot. And disband from the group. And because they got limited number of group slots that they can have, which they're going to want to have because of the buffing time. So if you use an entertainer in a cantina, don't forget to do that. Don't forget to ungroup. Don't forget to stop watching and tip them. Which is a tip space character name and then the amount. The amount doesn't come from the bank; it comes from the cash on hand, which comes from this pool right here. So if this is at 0, you're not going to be able to tip anyone. In game, you can tip anyone. You can use that command to give anyone cash, even without opening up any kind of trade window. Okay, so in the on the right side there, you can see my my waypoints that I've got set up. That basically is going to get me in the direction I want to be going. And call the speeder, and yes, I remember having a walk. Speeders are definitely more convenient, more conducive to what you want to do if you got limited time, playing the game. And so I'll go ahead and set that up on auto move, get going in the direction I want to go. The other thing I do is bring up a local map, zoom it out. And what that's going to give me is a detailed deal. Here, I'll show you on top. Okay, so on my radar map up here, which I've got almost max zoomed out, yellow are things that you can attack, but they won't attack you first. The red are the ones that will attack you if you get close to them. So say these 3 yellow were red and I didn't want to engage them. I wouldn't want to keep going straight. I want to go over to the left some more to avoid any kind of, because you can get attacked on your speeder, of course. This goes for both PvP and PvE, that you're going to get those identified. And since they're yellow, I'm going to buzz right by them. And those are those things right down there are the yellow. Now I can go in and out. Okay, if you go out too far, it looks like they're further away than they actually are. You can only go 1-2 clicks in, maybe 3 to get. That's pretty accurate where they're at. And that using the radar map just gives me a distant heads up. And And then the red coming up gives you a more of a pinpoint way of doing it. Some people may not like all the clutter. One of the things that they got as part of the quests in this game are speeder races that you have to complete. Well, a lot of speeder races are conducted inside of freaking cities. Some of the places that you go in the city dead end. So imagine running a race and not having any idea if the building's going to dead end. The radar map's not going to give you that information. The map that you can, local map that you can bring up on your HUD is going to give you those indicators so you can avoid those alleyways. And I've just found it useful also when traveling to the point that I want to get to basically stay far enough out of their aggro range to not get interrupted and get in a fight that I don't necessarily want to get into. All the mobs that you see right now are pretty much, just animals. And I'm not looking to engage animals, I'm looking for the forces. Because I got a specific idea of what I want to do and what I need to do to pull out my collection quest so I can get my robe. And so I'm using it to bypass everything that's a threat. And by the way, creatures are tameable in this game. You can also kill them, get their DNA synthesize your own, and basically throw an animal in the test tube. And you can use it as a pet. They also have skills where you can make it mountable, so you can actually ride a pet. And use it as a mount, which is pretty cool. Driving across water, some people debate it. I do not. You go across the water in the speeder, it slows you move. That's a river. I'm not, not going to be able to bypass it and just go across it. This is as far as the light I put down over to the side, but I'm not going to rush. Like I said, radar map, just gives me a pop-up of what I can expect to be coming on. And then the one that's overlaid on my HUD gives me a closer picture so I can avoid them go left or right. We'll go ahead and slow down here and see what these mobs are. See, not something that I want. Still far enough away from where I want to be. Then I'm not running into the other force sensitive NPCs or mobs that want to kill, get my holocron. I'm just kind of anxious to compare my new set, my new skills, what I got set up for, if I fare any better. And very first fight, I'm going to be able to tell whether or not my current build or the last build was better. Not going to be running the video, too intense, but it is pretty cool because a lot of times when you fight the other force wielders that have lightsabers, they're pretty pretty cool looking pipe, and that's another reason why I wanted to stream this and just tell you all about collections along the way and respecting and things like that. Give you a little bit of a handle on how the game works. And I am running the Illum graphics enhancements and music enhancement. So any kind of music that I hear is in the default Star Wars stuff. If you think of A New Hope as your baseline, and then all the other ones that has music from all the other stuff. Still all the movie music, and the graphics just help with the way that looks. And I'm also running the ReShade, which basically I don't like blurriness. I like more of a photorealistic look, and I also enhance the shadows in the game, which Illum does also. I like it, you know, a little bit of contrast in there, a little bit dark and light shadows under the trees and the toilet and stuff like that. Just a preference thing. Okay, so now I'm inside of 3K. And if I look at my map, you're going to see where I am right there. Okay, and there's my marker. Now, a lot of the force-sensitive users you'll get some in between here, but for the majority, they're up around this area right here. The more significant ones, the drops I've been getting are further to the east. So I'm probably going to want to bypass that also, maybe a little bit down to the south. You know, just like any mob area, you're going to be able to go after, you know, killing a few mobs, you know, for like, say, like 15 minutes, whether or not you think they're going to drop anything that you need, and either stay in that area or move on to a different area. This group, see here, just go with the animals. Still in range of the animals. The bigger pockets, and these yellow might be horse. Nope. Just local indigenous life still, so I gotta keep going further. And going to AFK for a second, I'll be right back. Alright, moving. The thing that you're going to notice is once I get up into the area where I'm going to want to get my experience in farm these things for the holocron, is they're in a more wooded area. It's not as open as what we're going through right now. You know, like off to the right, you can see those mobs right there, you know, from a ways off. Once you get up into the area that I'm going, they're hard to pick out from the trees and foliage. You can use a auto target function where you cycle through enemy, anything that's on the field. I don't use it because I want to know, you know, what I'm going after. PvE, it is probably more beneficial because they're not going to give you the time. It's basically, you know, a KOS, a kill on sight. You're going up against an enemy faction, and they're going to want to kill you as soon as possible before you kill them, right? Just like what your intent would be. But when you're going PvE, it's if you're outside their aggro, it's not that big. On speeder, even if you do aggro them, they do have a chance to damage your speeder if you got ranged weapon. Like these things, if you went too close to them and aggroed me, I'd be able to outrun them easily. Not the case with all mobs in this game, though. There are game areas that they will like sprint at you, and those little critters will fuck you up. Even if they're, you know, lower level than you are, just due to the sheer volume of how many attacks you just can't sustain. You know, even in a group, it's difficult. You ever look up the old Princess? There's of course. If you look up the old Princess Leia quest that you can do. That you can do, they have these little rats that travel around in packs of like 10 plus, and if you get too close to them and you don't have a good AoE, you're gonna get screwed up pretty quick. Okay, so there's a nice. Okay, so right up there on the hill is the. Okay, that's an adept. The adept is the one you're gonna want to go. I'm gonna want to go after, because that master right there, because I'm not level 90, he will freaking kill me in a heartbeat. So using my map, because I can't see him in the terrain because I'm behind a damn hill, I'm gonna want to kite this one. This one user and make sure. See, you can also tell he's going away. What's his distance is with this HUD. See, now he's walking towards them. Got double clicking the auto attack, and since I've got that heal about halfway, a little bit more than half. Go ahead and heal, almost brings it up all the way. Keep getting all my kills on him. I'm fighting only one, so I'm not using my deflection. And and I'm going to be able to bring them down pretty quick. This new build, I'm thinking is better than what I had. So to me, it still stands that my original concept of what I was going through, what I was, you know, playing my level 90. At least for my solo play style, I'm gonna want to flush this out. And then anything that I can afford to do, these are going to be bonuses. Once I've got everything in this tree going that I want to get, like I said, I want to open these up. So you're going to spend 2 points there, 2 points there, 4 points if you get exacting strike. You're also going to, you know, 1 point and then another 3 points for this one to open that. Also escape combat, I'm definitely going to want to put a point down there. Snare duration, you know, damage is already maxed out. So any of these are, you know, you got your sweep damage, the action cost reduction, increased melee damage. These are really beneficial. Melee damage and critical. That's how much damage. Sitting here freaking talking, and shit's walking up on me again. That's why you gotta pay attention to what the hell's going on all the time, otherwise that crap will kill you. So I'm gonna have to kind of pick and choose, but I think I'm gonna stick with this one right here. The amount of damage that I was inflicting and still being able to heal myself 1v1 was decent. And now, granted, they're 65, I'm 70. So the true test is going to be going up against higher level or equal level to what I'm. Go ahead and kite this guy. And one of the other things I just noticed is I don't have my favorite throw on my hot bar, but it's just sit down there a little bit, so I went ahead and threw my saber block up. Which is, you know, this right here, which is going to block incoming attacks. I've also got this one, which works against both ranged and melee weapon mobs that I'm fighting. And see, I'm not getting any kind of drops over here. Not that I expect one right away, but fighting in this this area that I'm at right now it's the wrong side. I need to be over here to get the drops. The 2 holocrons that I got, and I went in this area for hours and didn't get a single drop. And as soon as I moved over here, within the first 30 minutes, well, hell, even like 15 minutes, I got 2 holocrons. So I mean, as far as you know, what's conducive to what I'm looking for, as far as collections that I got going on for the waste packs, I want to be further to the east. But I just wanted to stop in here and see how this was, you know, how this build was going to do. And you gotta be careful because they're there. Okay, see now, because you didn't kill the master, it's just got the force sensitive guys in here. Think of it as like anti-farming, you know, as far as like if you're lower level than 90, you can't take out the master, you can't kill him. It's only gonna let you kill the underling so many times before it wipes it, and it's gonna respawn something else. And currently what you got are 2 Force users, untrained Force users, that have Force wielding powers, but they're probably using melee weapons and not lightsabers. Which can also, as you've seen, also go for the some of the adepts. And what you really want to get into is with one of the knights, one of the Force user knights, and that will get you a lightsaber battle. But the other thing is, the reason why I know it's working well, the current build I got, is I did not have this buff enabled, which is going to give me this right here. Let me show these 2 items real quick. Okay, this is going to give you a buff also. Go ahead and activate both of those. And that's just my macro firing these 2 items from the tool. And the first one right there, it's going to give you a +20 to Constitution, +20 to Stamina, and +20 to Agility. But it only lasts for 15 minutes, is why I got a macro running. Because a lot of times it'll run out and I'll forget that, I won't notice that it's out. So I'm running a macro for it. Likewise, kind of did to another one that is also at 15 minutes, which gives me another 20 points Constitution. Constitution directly correlates to how many hit points you got, so how much damage you're going to be able to sustain in a fight. So the health bar definitely went up. Probably in that last fight, I wouldn't have been down to here. I would have been, somewhere in the mid range for that. You also got food that you can buy off the market or make yourself. This Legends and a couple of others, you have experience buffs that you can use. I got 12 left. It initially was 50, but hey, to get the grind going on for the level that you want to get, yeah, you're gonna want some kind of experience buff, whether it's from the entertainer or some kind of item that you got going on. Just some of the other things. One of the things I did not do, I am capable of making a Gen 3 saber more damage. And I'll show you this real quick. Okay, this one can hold 3 items. Its max items is 3. Yeah, Gen 3 is going to add that. It's going to be 4 out of 4. So I'll be able to add another crystal. And like this, min damage is a +14, max damage is +15. I've got 2 of those, so that's 28 and 30. And add another one onto that, it's going to be another +14 or +15, because I've got select crate dragon crystals that I bought off the market that somebody else was either hunting the crate dragons or got them from questing and was giving them up. You don't necessarily have to buy them off the market either if you're interested in doing the Jedi class. You can find them fairly cheap. It's a known thing amongst players, definitely on Legends, definitely on the original SOE game, that the servers that I was running in, the server that I'm running in now with Legends, the characters are going to sell them below what they could get for them, just because it's a needed item to help you progress and not get frustrated. So why would you want to intentionally frustrate a new player so that they don't play the game, which has a finite amount of people playing it in the first place? The more people playing it, the better the game is, and that goes for any game in my opinion. So why wouldn't you want to do, you know, like I said, money grab? You're not going to get a money grab selling crystals. You know, what I would make in 6 days from doing crystals, I can make in a couple of hours in space off of just you know, fighting against the environment. You know, PvE battles. Not even, you know, you're not going to get squat from doing PvP except for credit and standing. So now that I've got those two buffs rolling on, I need to put my sweep in there, or my throw. Get rid of this one right there. Go ahead and throw my force throw down here. I'm going to kite both these guys. These guys are both, well, that guy's even lower, he's 8. And this guy is also 8. I thought there were 65. Anyway, that was probably the acolyte. You notice how they're walking over here? That's because they're important there. And my buff just went up. You can see my health going up. I am not using that's for using the health. But here's the buff that I was using. Is basically saving me from run out hit points during the battle. And you can get the same thing from food that you can buy, but your buff, your second chance, is going to auto heal you as you're in combat. Which, like I said, fighting one thing, not an issue. Fighting multiples, yeah, it's going to be an issue. I just wanted to stop and check that out and show you guys a little bit of something. But now we're on a quest for the holocrons, and what I really want to show you guys is basically Jedi Knight on Jedi Knight. You know, Sith and Jedi going at with lightsaber. I'm going to have to go further east. And now we're into the wooded area where, yeah, it's going to be hard to see. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. On my map, you can see that I've... Okay, and since they are using red, you can see that Dark Side Savage down there. Hard to see him through the trees. And wearing red, it's a lot easier to pick those out. But the darker clothing, unless they're wearing, you know, like a black like this guy, if you stand next to a tree, you're not going to be able to tell if it's, you know, a tree or something else. That's why I like having that map up, you know, as a indicator. It allows you to see, because you're not in the fucking open like this right here, where it's nice and easy. Like I said, there is a target capability where it basically will allow you to target, you know, your enemy, and then we'll just, you know, pull up. But as a melee class, here's some the old Jedi runes, the original Jedi runes that you had to go through the mission. A light side, dark side. You know, force wielder, basically going from nothing into a status of being able to at least connect to the port and progress from there. used to be a complex involvement of getting force skills. Apparently you were level 9, you know, before you thought about starting those missions. You see the 3 red. Anytime you got 3 red, you know what it's looking for. And they are, you know, elite class and master. And since they're grouped, you already know it's going to be C. Okay, that's damn. That master's. No, they're actually no master with them. What I really want to go after is the knight. Okay, and there's my mind trick right there. So I'm going to show you what I was talking about before about pulling 2 and fighting 1. You're going to want to get a little bit of distance from them. Basically where you're, now all you got to do is pull one of them and both of them are going to come. I'm outside my my range. If you look down at my hotbar, and right there they're just in range. Okay, now the one that I want to fight is the knight, so you can see saber on saber. The one that I'm going to want to use mind trick on is going to be this adept. I also don't want to slow them too much. Sorry guys, coming back, so I'm going to start this. See how that works? I'm just fighting the knight, which is going to be enough challenge as it is, even though it's boiled up. And yeah, I'm 100% happy with this new build out that I did. So for me, for my expertise using the general path, it's just like the original damn game. This is going to be my main focus here, and this will be my secondary focus, except for that tree right there. Was this is mandatory, having my healing maxed out. If you're in a group that's not as important, especially if you got you know, someone that can heal you. We've got the medics, even the commanders that can help you out. But if you solo a lot, if you're doing a lot of this stuff on your own, it's almost mandatory to have that healing. And now, if I so choose, then it's kind of funny that they didn't have a master with them. If I so choose, now I can pull these each individual. It's an easier fight. I would have an exceedingly great chance of dying fighting both of those at once. And knowing your skills and being able to pull one and then tell the other one, fuck off. I'm only fighting one of you at a time. Solo play is a big advantage. Being able to do that. Yeah, that's like a freaking monkey. Using his melee attacks. One heal during that, got halfway down, brought up to full health. So without that heal, I would have died. Almost guaranteed, you know. And without that buff, you would have died because I'm not doing enough damage. If I had my Gen 3, I'd be doing a lot more damage to them than I currently am. You know, especially if you, because you craft your lightsabers. The other thing I like about the game is you don't just get a lightsaber. At the very beginning, you'll get a training lightsaber, but it has a color crystal and no power crystals in it. So what you can craft and what you can make using component, you know, using building material, the steel, the copper, the fiberglass, stuff like that, using the components and your skill as your character, you make your own weapon. All the Force wielders do that, even NGE rules. You can't make a lightsaber and then give it to somebody. It right there, no trade. Okay, you can see greater is me. So based upon my skill and what I've done, without the crystals in there, this is like 630. With the crystals in there, I'm getting 722. The DPS, you know, instead of like 480, 490, it's 557. And when I get the when I make my Gen 3, which I'll probably damn. Oh well. Yeah, if you don't loot, if you talk too much and don't loot, you're gonna lose out. But anyway, see, like that, I used my saber throw on him. He's stuck. He's not even. So I can sit here, and if I got decent damage on my saber, I can whittle them down a little bit, maybe get them down there at 10%.